So for this week, we'll be covering part 1 of chapter 1. So for this first week, we're just covering some basic concepts such as what business is, products, profits, talking about the activities and participants in business, talking a bit about what affects a business. And so the first question is, what is a business? Right? Simply, a business is any individual or group of individuals, organization who's trying to earn a profit by providing products or services that satisfy people's need or want. So products specifically are goods or services with tangible and intangible characteristics, right, that provide satisfaction and benefits. So when you purchase products, you're buying the benefits and satisfaction you think the product will provide you. Like, say, a Subway sandwich, right? For example, maybe purchased to satisfy hunger or a craving you might be having or whatever it is. So a product can be both tangible and intangible, right? Tangible goods are something you can actually physically hold or have. Automobiles, computers, phones, coats, right? And then services can be a product as well, right? You get dry cleaning, right? Somebody cleans your clothes for you, or doctor checkups, or basketball games, or a concert. You're getting something out of that, right? But some of these things are intangible. It means you can't actually physically hold it, right? They provide a value to you which isn't physical. Then there's also ideas, right? Professionals generate ideas for solving problems. Now, the primary goal of business is to earn a profit. It's simply that, is to earn a profit, right? When we get to the later chapters of this course, like week 10, we're talking a little bit about the accounting equation. But what you need to know is that companies make a profit between what it costs them to make a product and what they sell it for. So if they sell something for $10 and it only costs them $8 to make it, ship it, deliver it, everything else, it means they're making $2 profit. So earning profits contributes to society by providing employment, which in turn provides money that's reinvested in the economy. But the problem is profits must be earned in a responsible manner. You might have heard back a year ago now about Martin Shkreli. Right? If you have a moment, take a look at him or just look him up on Google. Might be known as Farmer Bro. He's the one that bought the Wu-Tang Clan CD for like $1.4 million when they only made the one CD. What he did is he took a product, right, a drug, and increased the price of that drug. So a drug was currently on the market for, say, $1. And I can't remember what the exact prices were, but if it was $1, right, people were willing to pay $1. Maybe it cost them 20 cents to make the drug, right? So they're making 80 cents a profit, a good margin. Or maybe it even cost them 80 cents, and only making 20 cents a profit. It's still a profit margin. They were still making money on that drug. What he did, though, is he took that drug and increased it by, say, 4,000%, right? So instead of one pill being $1, now it's $4,000 or $400, whatever the pill cost is. It was an exorbitant amount of an increase, and there's a lot of pushback, lashing out at him for increasing the price of these drugs. He said, well, the market can bear this. People are willing to pay this price. I can make money off of it, and this money will fund for further and future research into other newer drugs, right? It will offset the cost of, saying, researching drugs and never actually make it to market. It's one of the largest prices of drugs is to fund other research, right, or failed research. You might have even heard about the EpiPen, right? EpiPens went from $100 for a 2-pack up to $600 for a 2-pack. And it's not because the costs really increased, right? The cost might have increased somewhat, but it's because they saw that they could charge more and people were willing to pay it. Now, because of the economy we live in a capitalistic society which revolves around competition, right? I believe Rite Aid or some other drug companies came out with a much cheaper version, right? They're their competitors. And that's one of the things that we will be looking at throughout this course. Now, a nonprofit organization. A nonprofit organization, right? They do not have the fundamental purpose of earning profits, right? Like businesses, nonprofit organizations engage in management, marketing, and financing activities to reach their goals, right? Examples of nonprofit organizations include the Red Cross or Special Olympics, right? Where they provide goods and services, right? But they still want to make money. They still want to earn a profit to fund their nonprofit charitable arms. Now, I'm a member of the VFW, and I'm on the board of trustees there. I'm on the board of directors as well. And we set prices such that we can cover our costs. We're making a little bit of money, but it's enough to cover the operating expenses and to generate income to donate, right? So we don't actually keep any money for ourselves. It's all earmarked and dedicated out to other organizations. Now, but in order to earn a profit, right, it requires management skills, marketing expertise, financial resources, abiding by law, the ability to change, acting ethically. It's also developing what to develop, right, the needs and wants of the customers, manufacturing, price, promotion, distribution, the people. You still need to have financial resources to fund and maintain and expand its operations. There are other challenges, right, abiding by the laws, government regulations, acting in an ethically and socially responsible manner, adapting to economic, technological, political, and social changes. We'll talk about those here in just a moment. But the real thing is that companies have stakeholders, right? People that have a stake in the success and the outcomes of the organization or a business. Now, it's not just the company or the customers or the employees, but it's also the investors, the government, the regulators, and the community, right? To achieve and maintain this profitability, companies and businesses must produce quality products, operate efficiently, and be socially responsible and ethical in dealing with stakeholders. Traditionally, companies have always had the bottom line, right? So you look at the accounting statement or income statement, it's like sales minus the cost of goods sales, and that's our income, minus our operating expenses, minus our taxes, and everything else. It goes up to the bottom line of how much money do we actually make. That was the bottom line. And to be operating in the black meant we were operating positive, right? We were making money. To be in the red meant we were losing money. But companies are starting to realize that there's not like a triple bottom line. The triple bottom line is saying, well, it's not just about the money. It's about the people being socially and ethically responsible. It's about the environment. Companies are realizing that by being environmentally responsible, being socially responsible, they can actually make money doing that. There are companies out there that just focus solely on that. Tom's of Maine is one of those companies. They say, you buy a shoe, we give a shoe, and it's part of their entire business plan. Now, when we look at the overview of the business world, right, we talked about those external factors that affect a business. On this chart here, you'll see those 5 external factors, right? The economy. How well the economy is doing affects your business. If the economy is doing great, it means people have money. They have money to spend. More money to spend means more people in your business. Right? If the economy is doing poorly, it means they have less money to spend. Less money to spend means they're not spending as much money towards certain activities or events. Now, it's not always a direct correlation, positively or negatively. The college industry. If we look at the college industry, a good economy actually yields lower students, right? Lower enrollment. Why? Because people can get jobs. They don't need to go to college to better themselves to get a better job. However, the economy is doing poorly, say it was in 2008, colleges and institutions saw an increase in enrollment because people couldn't get jobs, right? They needed to do something to make themselves stand out, so they went back to school. There's also IT. IT affects businesses, not just like having a mobile app or anything like that, but it's whole new technologies. If you look at e-commerce or e-business as a whole, it didn't exist 20 years ago, right? Or 20 years ago, it was just starting out. Even nowadays, there's new technologies coming about, like Elon Musk, right, with the Tesla, electronic cars, trying to build a Hyperloop. There's an article today in the paper that I was talking about a new company, I can't remember what it's called, but they're looking to do a 4,000 mile per hour Hyperloop, in which you're seeing these cars in a vacuumless tube and go 400 miles in 8 minutes. Now, there's also legal, political, and regulatory forces, right? Laws that impact you, regulations that impact you, especially with the new political turmoil that's going on right now. We're not sure what laws are going through. Healthcare laws, right? What's the government mandate for these things? We make money. There's also social responsibility and ethics, right? Dry cleaning 20 years ago, right? There was no such thing as a really green dry cleaner, right? Dry cleaner was a kerosene-based derivative that washed your clothes without water, right, without damaging it. But nowadays they realized those chemicals were harsh and they weren't good for the environment, so most of the dry cleaners nowadays, they slowly started changing over to being green. And nowadays, almost every dry cleaner is seen to be green, right? They're all green dry cleaners because that's what's socially responsible. It's what's socially acceptable now. And then there's also competition, right? What's your competition doing? And how does that affect your business? If you have a dry cleaning shop, or let's say a burger shop, right? And you're selling a $5 burger, and somebody comes in next door and they're selling a $4 burger, they're going to cut into your profits. So what do? Do you offer a better burger? Do you offer a lower priced burger? Do you compete on the same burger with a lower price point, just to affect your profit margin slightly? These are all questions that you have to answer. And it's showing you that owners, employees, and customers are the main stakeholders, right? They're the main shareholders of an organization. They're located in the center of this figure. And as you move outward, you see the different functions of business, right? Such as financing, marketing, and management. And it's showing you that the external environment affects each of these slightly differently, right? Now, when we talk about management, right, management is concerned with acquiring, developing, and using resources. Okay, the key here are resources. What are some of the resources we have to deal with? Natural resources being one, right? Minerals, right? Trees, land, water, air. These are natural resources that you have to acquire or sell or use. There's also human resources, which is labor. Right? There's entrepreneurial resources, the mind, the ability to start your own company. There's financial resources, wealth, money. Right? And there's also technological resources, right? IT, the infrastructure, logistics. And if you think about a scale, right? There's resources being in the middle here, right? And the scale on the other side, you can talk about the different economic systems. On the one side over here, you would have like the planned economy. Now, planned as in command economy, such as like true communism, right? Or like communist North Korea. It's completely controlled by the government. It's government regulated. They tell you how and where and why and when to use those resources. On the other side here, we'll say we have the free market economy. The free market economy means there's no government regulation whatsoever. Right? There's no one saying how and why and when and where for what you should use those resources. Now, just make it clear, there is no place on the earth that is a true free market economy. Right? There's always some form of government regulation no matter where you go. So if you look at this scalar, right, or the scale, you can tell one way or the other. Right? Where do you think the U.S. might fall? I think the U.S. falls closer to this free market economy. Right? But other nations, such as North Korea, definitely is a planned economy. And then we can also talk about like socialist economies. Right? A socialist economy might be such as like Sweden. Right? They provide more socialist activities and welfare benefits. Right? So they tax you higher, but then they provide you more benefits. But the government controls how they use some of those resources. Right? They tell you where that wealth can go. They tell you where those natural resources can go. They tell you where those human resources can go. So governments and countries fall somewhere on this line. So, why study business? Now, it's to develop skills for career success. Right? You need to become a well-informed consumer member of society, and you have many outcomes here. You can do marketing, HR, IT, finance, productions, operations, wholesale, retailing. There's a vast variety of jobs you can go into, right? That are challenging and interesting opportunities. Now, one of the things we'll be doing in this course, though, are the weekly business articles, right? I want you to actually take the time to read articles in these upcoming weeks and try to find something that you're interested in. If you want to do hair, find a hair journal or articles about hairdressing, or there's laws and regulations. If you're interested in medicine, look at those medical articles, right? If you're interested in entrepreneurship, look at some entrepreneurship articles. Whatever it is you're interested in, find articles based on that and read about that, right? I need to get used to reading for content, right? And we'll be going through each week and adding something in. So for the next weeks, we're not doing it this first week, but for next week we're going to start with talking about the external environments of business, right? How do the external environments affect this article? What external environments does this article affect? And every week we're just adding on. So the following week will be external environments and ethics. Eventually get to external environments, ethics, management, marketing, all those combined, right? And be able to actually truly look at reading an article and understand how in all the various aspects of business this is really going to affect. All right, have a great week.